Hey guys, how are we today? Hope we're all having a lovely day. I thought I'd just pop in a quick video for today, something that I saw on YouTube yesterday and was inspired to post this video. This one is for Kat from Beauty News. She posted a video about her top 10 lip products if she could only keep 10, and it really gave me the inspiration for this. I sat down pretty much right away while I was still watching the video, was sorting through all of my lip products, and of everything that I own, there are, well, it's a bit of a difficult one to decide for a lot of these. So let's get started. My absolute top one. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. So my absolute number one favorite lipstick is the Colourpop Cream lipstick. It's the Disney Princess collab in the shade Belle. It is just my absolute favorite. It's a beautiful pinky, neutrally nudie color. It's actually what I'm wearing today. I absolutely love it. The formula is fantastic. It's not drying. It's Colourpop and it's fantastic for what it is. My number two is a Bite, what's it called? The Matte Lip Crayon in the shade Leche. So I'm going to pop that one right beside it. So it's fairly similar, only a little more nudie, neutrally light, and not quite as berry-ish. And it's absolutely beautiful as well. I absolutely love the formula on that one. The color works really well. You'll see in the video a lot of my favorites are all neutral colors, and I'll explain why a little bit later on. The number three was actually the same Disney Princess collab as well. This one actually came in a bundle with the Belle lipstick, and this is the lip gloss in Last Petal. It also came with a Super Shock shadow in there as well, which I love as well. It's fantastic. The only downside of this is I wish that you could buy it separately as opposed to having to buy it in the kit. I know it's probably going to be one of the ones that I use before I use the actual lipstick, and I'm just going to pop it here beside the lipstick, but you can see it's the same shade, so it's that beautiful nudie, neutrally berry-ish kind of color, and I absolutely love it. It's not too brown, it's not too pink, and it just goes beautifully over everything. I think we can see that I clearly do have favorites with my colors that I like as well. It has to be the right kind of neutral for me. It can't be too warm or too cool. It can be a little warm, a little cool, but not too far either way. My next favorite is, surprise, surprise, another Colourpop, and it is also another Disney designer collection, but this one is the Rapunzel lip gloss in the shade Flynn. So this one is actually a Luxe liquid lip. So I'm gonna pop this one beside here as well. And it is really close to the shade Leche in Bite. I think the camera's throwing it off a little bit, but the Bite one is a little bit more pinky, whereas this one is a little bit more berry-ish. I think you can see a little bit of the difference there where it's doubled up a little bit. Love the formula on that one. It goes on like a gloss. It doesn't dry out. It doesn't dry down, but it still provides that coverage for quite a long time. My number five is another Colourpop lipstick as well, but this one is a Sophia Nygaard collab in the shade Bury Me In lipsticks, and I absolutely love the tubes on actually all of the ones that I do have here, so they're all a little bit different. I do have one more Colourpop lipstick here as well, and that one has a different tube as well. I love the bats on this one. It's absolutely beautiful, and I think it is just the most gorgeous berry colour. It's not too red, it's not, you know, it's the right amount of colour in there for what I like. When I like reds, I like them to be berry reds or blue based reds. Orange reds just really don't look good on me. They make me look sick and like I'm a clown who's eaten a box of crayons. So when I find any reds, and to me, I would deem this to be a bit of a red when I wear it. It is a little bit different on my hand, but it's the same formula as the others and I absolutely love them. My number 6 favourite is actually only a sample size that I have, so it's a Becca lipstick in the shade Orchid, and it's the Ultimate Lip Love. Just going to pop this one over here, which you can see I definitely do have my favourite shades. This one I do find is a little bit deeper than the Flynn Luxe Liquid Lip and the Bite Matte Lip Crayon, but not quite as berry neutral as the Belle one, but it's still beautiful. It's for when I want that just something a little bit darker, it's absolutely perfect. The next one is for when I want something that's not necessarily neutral, not necessarily berry, but when I want a brown, and it's the Colourpop Disney collab, of course, again, but it's the Villain collection, and it's in the shade Dr. Facilier. I do have 3 of the Villains lipsticks. The other 2 I have are, I think it's the Evil Queen and Maleficent, and I do love those, but they're very, Maleficent's very magenta-ish, and the Evil Queen is very red. So they're my special occasion ones, not my everydays, whereas these are my, well, they're my everydays, but they're still my special lipsticks. So I love that this one is a real brown colour as well, but it does still look really neutral when I wear it. And I can get away, it is a lot darker than, you know, some of these others that I tend to wear every day. These 4 are the ones that I would mainly wear every day. It is a bit darker, but I can still get away with wearing it every day. Now, I did have a lot of trouble deciding most of the remaining 3 products, and for different reasons, which I will go into. But I did pick a couple of runner-ups. So these were the next 2 that kind of came to mind, but when I swatched them, they're pretty much the same as, you know, all of these or combinations of all of these anyway. And, you know, if I absolutely have to keep 10, these aren't it. As I work my way through all of the lipsticks that I do have in the drawer, these ones will be going first, and the ones that I have on my hand will be staying because I don't want to use them in case they are discontinued. The first one is the one I tend to wear the most, and it is the Revolution Pro Matte Nude Lipstick in Protect. I don't even remember where I got this, but it's, you know, just a cheap lipstick that it's a really good everyday colour. It is actually really similar to the Belle lipstick. The Belle one, I don't know if you can see it on camera, is just slightly darker. It is a bit more noticeable when I'm looking at my hand. It's pretty good. I have worn it down a fair amount, and that will be one of the next ones to go after I finish all of the ones in my 20 in 2020 challenge. The next one is only fairly recently purchased, and of all the nudes that I do have, you know, I've got a few others that I want to work through before I use this one, and it's the Sephora Lip Stories and Barbie collab in the shade Beauty Battle, number 36. And I do love how all of the, you know, tubes on these are different, but same as with the others, they're all fairly similar. So this one is actually, on camera, it shows up to be more of a closer match to Belle, but it's a bit shinier. So the 2 down the bottom are a little bit shinier than Belle actually is, but you know, they're all pretty similar, and I think that the Revolution Pro one is actually kind of a combination between the Flynn Luxe Lip and the Bite lipstick and the Belle. So I think if you mix kind of all three of those together, you would get something similar to that, which I guess it's just my kind of my kind of shades, my kind of lipsticks that I stick to. So the next two I have picked only for the shade. If I could find these shades in a different brand, I definitely would, because I love them. And they're both Mary Kay lipsticks. So the first one is Frosted Rose, which this is a very, very old one. They've redesigned the packaging since, and the only reason I have this is because I love the colour so much. It's a metallic, which I'm not usually a fan of metallics, but this was the first Mary Kay lipstick I ever tried 15 years ago, and I absolutely loved it. And I've bought it a couple of times since, but I'd prefer not to buy from MLM companies anymore. It really is beautiful though. It's a beautiful pinky colour, but when the light hits it, and when it's not, it does show a really nice nudie neutral colour. It does look really dark here when I hold my hand that way, but it's not really that dark when it is on. But it is absolutely just beautiful. And I did wear that when I went to a friend's wedding, so every time I wear it, it reminds me of that, which I love. The next one is also another Mary Kay one, and it's in the new packaging. This is just an absolutely beautiful berry shade. It is the shade Appleberry. And here it is here. You can see it is fairly similar to the other berry kind of tones that I have, but when it's on, when I'm wearing it, it is definitely more of a, you know, reddish kind of berry. It is the type of red that I do love. The only problem is that it does smudge quite a lot, but I do still love the colour. And if I could find those two colours in different formulas or different brands, I would definitely buy them. But that one mainly I have rebought because that was the one that I wore on my wedding day. So the last one is the one that I actually had the most trouble deciding, mainly because everything in my drawer I honestly just don't like as much as everything that I have in front of me at the moment. And like, I've got neutrally orange colours, I've got the other two Colourpop ones, like the red one, I've got a magenta one, I've got, you know, a few glosses, but you know, they're all just kind of meh. I wouldn't, you know, really pick those over anything else that was already in the drawer. It was hard to kind of narrow it down, but I did to a Colourpop lippy stick in the shade Byron Babe. And the only reason I chose this one is really for the shade. I do have a couple of other lippy sticks, but this one is the one I find I wear the most. It is the most similar to all of the neutrally coloured ones that I do have here at the moment. The other ones that I have are really bright pink and a bright red, and are completely different to how they look on the website, which was disappointing. But this one is the most wearable that I find. I'm not particularly a fan of the formula. It tends to just dry out and then flake off, and my lips get really cracked and chapped when I use it. So I definitely have other formulas that I'd prefer to use and other colours that I'd prefer to use, but if I had to pick, you know, if my house was about to burn down and I absolutely had to grab 10 lipsticks, these would probably be the 10 that I would grab. I would honestly probably pick the Barbie one over the lippy stick, except that I already have so many that are similar to that one. So I think the big difference is that the camera's not picking it up the way that it really is, and if anyone does have Byron Babe, you'll know how it really does show up. So that is my top 10 plus my 2 runner-ups. If I absolutely had to choose 12, that would be it. I could live on my top 7 quite happily. I would probably go and find, you know, the couple of other shades that I did want. So yeah, that's my absolute die-hard top 7 lip products that I do have, and then 5 runner-ups. So let me know what you think. If you've done anything like this as well, I'd be happy to watch your videos. I'd love to see what, you know, other kinds of shades and colors and formulas everybody else loves. So until then, talk to you later.